Hello one and all, my name is Ryan Bruce, my friends call me Fluff, and today on Riffs, Beards, and Gear, we're gonna check out the all-new Synergy DRECT Rectifier module. Does it sound like a rectifier? We'll see. So when Synergy first reached out and said, hey, we finally made a rectifier module, I did what a lot of you are probably doing right now. You're probably going, yeah, sure you did. And I absolutely did that. And you know what, for good reason, because I think a rectifier sound is one of those sounds that's more poorly represented than represented really well in a lot of examples, both digital and physical. I'm not talking about Synergy in particular, but I'm just talking about like in modelers and things like that, right? The overall breadth of a rectifier representation is not normally that great, or they're gonna represent like a 3-channel rectifier or something like that. So today we are going to check out the DRECT from Synergy. And before we go any further, Synergy reached out to me to see if I would check out the DRECT because I'm kind of a rectifier nut. I currently own like 9 rectifiers, and I also run the rectifierguide.com. And I think they wanted to just kind of get my thoughts on this module. I was not asked to say anything good or bad about it. All thoughts and opinions are mine. So over the entire time of doing Synergy module demos, which I've been doing for 4 or 5 years at this point, there has never been a rectifier flavored module until now. Now this follows the example set by all Synergy modules. This is a 2-channel affair, and in this particular case, we have an orange mode and a red mode. You can think of it as basically the vintage and modern settings on a 2-channel rectifier. Now, according to the nomenclature, this is supposed to be based on a revision C, a very early rectifier. Now, does it sound like an early rectifier? I don't think so. What it does sound like is a really the best example of a revision G that I have ever heard. Namely, it sounds like my revision G triple rectifier that I have in storage. I don't know how I have it here because I'm using this rectifier for something else. However, this sounds like one of the best revision G rectifiers I have ever heard. And what I mean by that is it's rectifiery. It's not super tight, plugged straight in. It is a little muddy. It does have the hump at about, 170, 200 hertz-ish, like I would expect a rectifier to have. But what that means is you have a real nice canvas on which to paint your picture. You can be the cook. That's what I mean. If you want to hit this with an overdrive pedal, it's going to do that thing that you want a rectifier to do when you hit it with an overdrive pedal. Sounds really good. It definitely chugs. Let's check this out in a full mix. All right, now that we got the full mix out of the way, I'm going to use the same setup I did with the full mix for the playthrough. I'm going to continue to use my power section of the Diesel VH2. Why am I going to use this instead of a rectifier? Well, the rectifier loops aren't that great. The rectifier I have here with me in the studio currently is a KSR modded rectifier with KT77s, and I don't really think that's representative of even a typical rectifier power section, so I'm just not going to use that. I'm just going to go with the Diesel VH2, and yeah, it sounds pretty dang good if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go ahead and use that. We're going to use the Ernie Ball Music Man Axis Baritone as well because it is equipped with Fishman Devin Townsend pickups, and these are basically dialed for a rectifier, which is why I am using them. Let's do a little bit of playthrough. All right, real talk. What do I think? Does this sound like a Rev C? You know, all of the revisions aren't as different as people like to make them sound. Does this basically sound like an early Rammstein record? No, it does not. However, it does sound like a really, really good Rev G to my ears. And I've had so many rectifiers at this point. I would absolutely use this. This is one of the best modules that Synergy has made up until this point, right? So my favorites being the 6505 and the SLO 100 for the high gain stuff. And I guess the Bogner Ubershaw is really good as well. However, this DRECT is phenomenal for rectifier tones because it does stay true to the rectifier thing. Is it a little fizzy? Yes. Is it muddy, plugged straight in? Yes, but it is in the most musical, nice way. And I want that if I'm going for a rectifier tone, because then I can be the cook and I can hit it with an overdrive pedal and just get my chug on. And it does that. I really appreciate that they didn't try to do like a modded rectifier or like a, I don't know. It's not too tight, right? It's kind of loose and it has a big butt for a rectifier. And I love that. I love how this sounds, and I think they really captured the flavor of a 2-channel Revision G rectifier, in my opinion. This thing sounds phenomenal. It behaves phenomenal. It behaves exactly like you want it to. Yeah, 5 out of 5 beards for me. I will link down below in the description if you'd like to know more info about the new Synergy DRECT module. And while you're down there, please consider clicking that subscribe button to further support this channel. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.